gathering he's joined us here today. N Chandrasekaran, Chandra as he's popularly known, is the CEO and MD of Tata Consultancy Services, a leading global IT solutions and consulting firm, a position he has held since 2009. He's been appointed as the Executive Chairman of Tata Sons and he will take charge from 21st February 2017. He was also appointed as Director on the Board of India's Central Bank, the Reserve Bank of India in 2016, and under his leadership, TCS has generated consolidated revenues of US $16.5 billion in 2015 and 16. With over 378,000 consultants, TCS has become the largest private sector employer in India with the highest retention rate in global competitive industry. Well, do I need to say more? So over to you, over to both of you. Thank you.
In NASSCOM, there was a saying that your name has to be Chandra if you want to be something. So I definitely know that my father gave me the right name. He called me Chandra Prakash. Your father gave you the right name. He called you Chandra. We just met R. Chandrasekhar. We had we have a lot of Chandras. Forget it. I'm not going to go into Chandras. Right, so now here is a little bit of an anecdotal part. In Bangalore, we have normally a large gathering, a product enclave, and it's around that time that whatever, and Bangalore is in news these days. So, when we were having our product council meeting, around the same time this news broke out, and both R. Chandrasekhar and I were doing a press conference to talk about the growth of startups, product engineering, and the press kept asking us questions about Tata Sons and N Chandra. Now, obviously, they were not the easiest questions to understand, particularly on a 26th of October 2016. Can I start by asking N Chandra, when did it occur to him? Because to the press it had occurred on 26th October that N Chandra will be the chairman, and Shireen is somewhere here, and I remember Shireen started running the program at 12 o'clock when the Bombay House was going to make an announcement only at 5 o'clock. So press always knew. When did you come to know?
The board meeting happened only at 5:30 on the 12th of Jan.
Okay.
So I didn't know how Shireen started running the ticker at 12.
And so guys, anyway, for us, it's one of our own. And we are definitely and I don't know whether Neelam designed it, but we had Mukesh Bhai from an oil and gas. He's creating a digital large conglomerate. We had Bill Rue, again, from an industrial giant. He's creating a digital giant. And now we have Mr. Digital himself in Tata Sons. So, tell us about your plans. What's happening in terms of the impact of digital in the corporate houses. I'm not saying Tata Sons.
No, I think, CP, I have said it many times over and over again. The biggest difference digital has made is that it has driven technology to such a level, every business is getting embedded in technology. It's a completely different paradigm. All these years, technology was supporting business and technology was getting embedded in business. Now business is pretty much getting embedded in technology because data is so critical. Everything will emit data. And enough has been said. The importance of collecting the data, importance of analytics, importance of machine learning, insights, artificial intelligence to be able to respond and so on and so forth. I think it will happen in every industry, and our group is no exception. And this is a change that we will see for a number of years to come. And this is going to be a big game, an exciting game. And so I don't believe for a moment, if anyone were to say that there is a turbulence in the IT industry, there is no turbulence. There is only opportunity, in my opinion.
Wow, that's lovely. So guys, let's give him a big hand again. Now you know why he's the chairman. He sees opportunities. So anyway, coming back, Chandra, when I had called you and, reminded you that we have not had a NASSCOM leadership in the last few years where you have not participated or addressed, and you said you will definitely come. And you personally wanted to talk about India's readiness or the role of technologies in India's future. You think we should stay with that topic, or should I again bring Bombay House?
You can do what you want. Say, I am a good, disciplined player. I leave the balls which I don't want to play.
Good one, good one. So, but anyway, let's come back to the. Let's come back. What is your advice to the Indian IT industry in terms of reimagining themselves or reinventing themselves? Where do you see the road ahead? Can you power that mic, please?
Can you power this mic?
So I don't want to give any advice, but I'll share some perspectives. I think every time there is a regulation change or some kind of a challenge or a perceived challenge, in our industry, everybody goes, there is a problem. And it's hyped up, whether it is a H-1B, whether it is a increase in the visa fee, whatever it is, there is always a talk about IT industry is in trouble. And there are enough articles that people write. I just want to categorically say, it is the most exciting industry to be in. At a time that every business, whether you call it getting reimagined or getting redefined, you can use any term you want. Fundamentally, every business is pretty much going to be powered by technology. And so the opportunity and the demand that we are going to see is just exponential. Demand is not an issue at all. And you will always need some kind of tweaking of the business model, and whether it is products, platforms, whether it is services with less dependency on a particular type of visa or a particular type of resource. There are so many different parameters that you need to play with. It's almost analogous to a cricket pitch, which the occasional ball will do something. Because you are in an industry which is fast changing. So you need to adapt to those changes. You need to build capabilities. You need to build IP. You need to form new partnerships. If you formed a partnership with SAP, somebody is thinking here, and how do I form a partnership with GE Digital? So you need to form those new partnerships. You need to reskill your people. So the change is something that you will have to live with. But it's about facing that occasional ball every time something changes carefully. That doesn't mean that if there are 6 balls in over, 5 balls are normal balls, you don't play those balls. So you cannot get overly paranoid. So I don't think there is a cause of concern. I really feel that the opportunity is immense if you remain positive. But you need to do all of these things. You need to build skills, you need to hire the right talent, and you need to re-engineer the senior people, because the senior people come from old school. Everything is going to be agile. Trends are very clear. You've got to be 100% agile. You cannot do agile only for certain types of new applications. Even your maintenance, you've got to think in terms of agile. And I would even ask the question, why would you need maintenance if everything is agile? Okay, what does agile mean to testing? Testing will become irrelevant in the current form. So that is a change that we have got to cope with. That does not mean that there is no testing required. Testing will not exist in the current form. So agile will redefine many things. To me, that's a fundamental change of the business model or the life cycle that we follow. Similarly, if automation matures, we should be able to handle production support and maintenance in a much different way. That doesn't mean that there is no production support. That doesn't mean that there will be no maintenance. But you will just not do it the same way we do. And at the same time, analytics is going to be huge. And that will create a lot of front office. Customers typically spend a lot of money and effort in the back office systems. In the future, there will be more money spent on the front office systems. Because once you have data, once you have dependency on that data, once you have the reliability of that data, what you can do with it, we are only scratching the surface. So in terms of what we need to do, we need to think through all of this. Nobody has got a solution. Nobody knows how will I operate in a 100% agile model for all my systems, and how will I do these phases of the projects. And that thinking everybody has to do, and clarity will emerge as you do. You try out few things, and then you figure out what the new way of doing. But absolutely, I'm certain that the demand is huge and it's just happening everywhere. And the problem for our industry has always been that we have been fortunate that there is opportunity everywhere. We can operate in every industry, from banking to energy to healthcare to every industry. And we can operate in every country. The problem has been to choose. The problem has never been lack of opportunities. And with the best of efforts, even the large companies, including us, we have a strong exposure to certain industries and certain markets. Many industries are still not fully addressed. Many markets are fully not addressed. So I don't understand this question. Something is going to happen and people should get scared about it.
Thank you, Chandra.
I just definitely wanted to convey this message because people keep on asking this.
Again, thank you, Chandra. A related question is on the screen right now. So, that why Indian IT organizations have been more service or technology followers, and why have we not created technology ourselves, or why are we not the inventors, and what will propel this investment in this direction?
See, I think, let's first not rubbish the services industry. Every time an industry matures, the appreciation for services goes up. Every product company is building a services arm, because services business has its strength and has its unique business model. And we saw the early opportunity in services, so we went after services. Because building a services industry at that time did not require any capital. And did not require that you needed to be very close to the customer. And you can go on and reflect on why we created a service industry. But we have created the best-in-class, world-class, whatever you want to use companies in this space. And we should celebrate it and not be rubbishing it. First point.
Good point.
And whether it is in terms of the quality of service, whether it is in terms of the customer sat, whether it is in terms of the margin parameters, profit parameters, this industry has done very well. And if someone were to link all of this to labor arbitrage, I think we are doing a gross injustice. We are talking 1980. We are not talking 2010. Okay? And if labor arbitrage is the only reason, we must be having 100 companies from every part of the world doing this. So there is an enormous value in these industries, and we must celebrate it. We should not ask the question, why not product and why services? Let's leave the services industry separately and leave it as it is. It has got a great potential, and my dream is that these companies, not TCS alone, and a number of companies in this space will scale and will do wonderful things, not necessarily in terms of people, but in terms of productivity, in terms of automation, in terms of reinventing what it means to build systems for the future. All those things will happen, and I have 100% faith in that, and I wish luck for everybody. Now coming to the product question. The question to ask is how to create product companies. The question is a very naive question, wrong question to ask. People ask me, why TCS is not creating a Windows? I mean, why don't you go and ask Satya Nadella, he's coming here next week, why don't you create TCS? I mean, so this is a very, very wrong question. I mean, so you have to create, I mean, Windows is such a phenomenal innovation. So how do we create? It's not necessary that TCS should go and create that company. How do we have companies in India, entrepreneurs in India give birth to products like Windows, companies like Google, companies like Apple? And that is something that we need to aspire for. And that is about risk taking. And we have matured, and today we have the wherewithal today. And there are a lot of companies, a lot of people are trying it, and it will happen. But it is not to say that an Infosys or a TCS or a Cognizant tomorrow leave everything they are doing. I would rather build my relationship with Satya Nadella to do $1 billion business with Microsoft. Right? So that's a different paradigm, and product companies will come. Definitely will come from India, and we have to try. It is not because 4 people critiquing somebody that we are not creating a product company. Product company will come if we make the efforts, and there are a lot of entrepreneurs in India who will come, and we just have to give them the chance, give them the opportunity, give them that. Let me put it this way: if a startup in India creates a product, they want a meeting with you, how many of us will give meeting, including me? We will not reply first. If we reply, we will give it to somebody we'll ask him to meet somebody who has got 120% of time. So that is where the Silicon Valley ecosystem helps these companies to put them in front of the CEOs. And we need to do that for the right, bright products in India. And we need to give them the opportunity, we need to nurture. When we do that, there will be successful product companies that will come from India. I'm not for a minute saying that TCS should not do this. But it is not only dependent on 1, 2, 3 companies. It will come from anywhere.
Thank you. So Chandra, obviously India a lot is changing. And the digital payment world is probably accelerated the most. So we do have a question here that what is an opportunity because of remonetization? And what's your take and what's your, again, suggestion to the Indian IT industry?
See, I think, digital is happening in payments, but it needs to happen across every industry. It's not only in payments. It has to happen in healthcare, it has to happen in education, it has to happen in every other industrial sector that you talk about. And to reimagine and create that is a big opportunity for the sector. And I believe that the digital push in India is going to be very significant. I do feel that the multiple initiatives by the government will all get connected at some stage. Whether you call it Make in India, whether you call it smart cities, whether you call it digital India. So all these initiatives, we have to bring it together. The best people to bring all this together is the people in this room. Otherwise, what can happen is that each one of them can grow in an isolated manner. The fundamental fabric that will connect all these initiatives is technology. So we need to be, and it's not an easy thing because it requires some innovation to bring it all together, and that's where we should focus on. If you focus on, that's a big opportunity. The second big opportunity I feel is that India has two problems. On the one hand, we have phenomenal talent. We almost put, I think, 10 million people to work every year. And we will be seeing 100 million people coming to the job market in the next 10 years or 8 years or whatever. On the other hand, we need jobs for these people. Okay, I believe just economic growth will not do. We need to do the growth in such a way that we solve both problems. The way to solve both problems is overlaying digital on top of physical. I call it building digital interface to physical assets. What does it mean? It means that if you take a job of an expert that has got a value chain, and we can't replicate experts. That is, we have a need for 400,000 teachers. We have a need for, I don't know how many doctors, maybe the ratio is 1 in 40 or something in some other parts of the world. We are 1 in 2,000 or something like that. And that too, they are not available in some parts of the country and so on. So the job of a doctor, the job of a teacher, the job of every expert has a value chain. That value chain has to be broken down, and only the deep expertise has to be remaining with that person so that he or she has got the bandwidth to be able to do a lot more. All the remaining things have to be done by people who are very low skilled.